I guess the government has nothing better to do with their time, all those paper pushers in government, than to try to infantilize us further by even giving us instructions as to how to have sex.
Get out of our lives, get out of our bedrooms. Enough is enough. This is just exposing how ridiculous this whole situation is really getting. You know what I mean?
My parents escaped China, communist China, to come to this country, and it's as if we're reverting backwards, very much backwards. Please treat me like an adult. Look, I baked cake for you.
Wait a minute, is it cherry cheesecake?
No, Doug, I think you're a bit overweight.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Queen's Park. And folks, if you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. If you're able to, make a donation so that we can ensure the safety of our cameramen and reporters. There are forces afoot that want to shut us down, sometimes violently, when it comes to bringing you the other side of the story. And that's why sometimes we need bodyguards so that we can report safely. Well, we don't need bodyguards here because we're at a Yahoo Nation protest. People, unlike some of the leftist protests we've been attending, are friendly, they're nice, they're articulate, they can put two words together in a sentence. So there's no need for that kind of added security. So what is the angle now, especially since Toronto, as of yesterday, went into stage 3 of reopening? Well, how about this? Once upon a time, Pierre Trudeau, Justin's father, had words to the effect that the nation has no business in the bedrooms of its citizens. And yet, what do we see during this pandemic? Well, the city of Toronto has published, if you can believe it, a COVID-19 fact sheet entitled Safer Sex During COVID-19. I'm not making this up, folks. You've got some bureaucrats at City Hall that are coming up with tips in terms of suggesting safer sex during the pandemic. The first one, I think, is the most hilarious one. Your safest sex partner during the COVID-19 pandemic is yourself. Wow, well, maybe this is too much information, but I guess I was ahead of the curve on that one. Anyway, there's other ones here. It's about making sure that you have a consensual partner. Oh, you don't say. I think that's not a COVID law, but that's the law. There's also a section here about how to clean your sex toys. You know, it's kind of gross, isn't it? But I think the grossest thing about it is the fact that our tax dollars are funding this propaganda, which I assume most people actually know. You know, the idea of how to have safe sex. At least if you're a responsible adult, you should know that. I don't need somebody at City Hall putting that together for me in a fact sheet. So why don't we find out what members of Yahoo Nation have to say about City Hall bureaucrats turning themselves into sex therapists. Your safest sex partner during the COVID-19 pandemic is?
Myself, right?
Wow, you've done your homework.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know.
What do you make of that advice, ma'am?
I guess, they have to come in our bedroom and control our sex life. Well, this is such an abuse of power that they are saying that because they cannot control my body, what I'm doing in my house, and with who I'm gonna interact.
I wonder if Mayor Tory, because they do say lead by example, do you think he's using himself as his own sex partner?
Could be.
Okay.
I guess the government has nothing better to do with their time, all those paper pushers in government, than to try to infantilize us further by even giving us instructions as to how to have sex.
Get out of our lives, get out of our bedrooms. Enough is enough. This is just exposing how ridiculous this whole situation is really getting. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, really? They want us to continue having that masturbation with yourself, even during separation. And now phase 3, they want to continue because they want to reduce population. You know that, right? Agenda 21.
Well, I mean, it's quite simple. This is medical tyranny at its finest. And I mean, when is it going to end? You know, we have all these mandates, and there's no end in sight. There's no projection. It's just appalling.
Yeah, typical. I'm not surprised. That's That's exactly what they're doing, man. They're trying to take what makes us human away from us.
I'm sorry, but sex and religion has no business in public policy.
You know, on the feminist left, when it comes to the abortion issue, her body, her choice. And now all of a sudden we have bureaucrats saying this is how you should have sex.
Well, I just don't have no words to say. I'm speechless because I don't know where we're getting into. Like, it's very scary and it's very frustrated that the government and the politicians, they are telling us what to do.
It says clean your sex toys and do not share your sex toys with others. Would you ever share your sex toys with others, Vlad?
Again, like, I don't even want to justify that answer. What I do want to say, though, this is a great example that these people in these government places want to really look at us as children.
Yes.
They want to treat us as completely irresponsible, obedient robots that they can just tell to do anything, and we're going to say, yes, please, master. Yes, please, master. Tell me that I need to wash my hands. Tell me that I need to know I'm going to breathe oxygen.
You know, it's as if we're all children and we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to take care of ourselves.
The way they're treating us is the way they want us to be. You know, they want us to be infantile, dumbed down, mass all the time because we need the government. Yeah.
And how do you feel about the fact, Judith, that it is your tax dollars that is paying for this?
I don't know where we are anymore. My parents escaped China, communist China, to come to this country, and it's as if we're reverting backwards, very much backwards. Please treat me like an adult. Look, I baked cake for you.
Wait a minute, is it cherry cheesecake?
No, Doug, I think you're a bit overweight.
Now, we know how human connection, how it's so important. There's studies like the Blue Zone study they've done, and they show the things that make humans live the longest, that's what they're taking away from us. So they're not stupid.
Do you share your sex toys with others, Kellyanne?
I would say none of your business.
I would say that's the appropriate answer.
I would say this overreach into people's personal sexual business by all these perverted government agents is a little bit ridiculous.
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me that you don't think City Hall bureaucrats are well versed in the art of romance?
Actually, no. I think they might have spent maybe too much time in school trying to compete for higher positions and have no experience in any personal aspect of life, including sex, and now they're just going on a rampage.
And one last question. What do you it's almost as though we're infants, that we're not mature adults, that we need this information. But the added perversity, I think, Kellyanne, is that our tax dollars are funding this.
We have the most incompetent, laughable, ridiculous government in the history of any government. But
wait, which government are you talking about now?
Well, I'm going to say because this infestation is within every party and every institution. But this is what happens when you have a fired drama teacher for a prime minister.
Make sure you clean your sex toys and do not share your sex toys with others.
So I guess they're assuming we have sex toys, right?
Well, folks, bringing you the other side of the story does not come cheap. Sometimes we need security in order to bring you the other side of the story because there are forces afoot that don't want us to bring you the other side of the story. If you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. That's journalistdefensefund.com and make a donation.